Travis and I have made 3 videos showing how to make these Band Sawn Reindeer. By now there are thousands, probably hundreds of thousands of these wooden animals sitting around on mantles and shelves and tables with absolutely nothing to do. So, you know what we need to do next, don't you? Make a sleigh, of course. Ow. This video is an answer to your requests. Actually, 2 requests. Many of you have asked for a sleigh that would work with these reindeer, and we'll get to that in a moment. A few more of you have asked how to make a red-nosed reindeer, and the answer to that is very simple. Padauk, or if you live in my part of the world, Padauk. Padauk is a bright orangish-reddish wood that grows in Africa and Southeast Asia. Simply glue up a block like this with a horizontal stripe of Padauk and cut out a deer. The Padauk will get a little brownish as it oxidizes over time, but you can remove the patina with a little sanding and brighten up the nose. The pattern and instructions are available from our workshop companion store, in case you're wondering. This reindeer had a red nose, of course, because he'd been drinking. So Santa hitched him to the front of the team where all the other reindeer could keep an eye on him. Both the reindeer and the sleigh are made using special bandsaw techniques. The reindeer is made by making compound curves. You cut one profile, you turn the wood, and then you cut another. The sleigh is made in much the same way as you'd make a small bandsaw box. Resaw the front and the back, and then make a U-shaped cut in the remaining wood to make the sides and the bottom. Now the sleigh is a little bit more complex than this, but surprisingly not very. You will, however, need 2 bandsaw blades, one to do some resawing and the other to cut some fairly tight curves. I used a 5/8 inch or 16 millimeter skip tooth blade for the resawing and a 3/16 inch or 4 millimeter skip tooth blade for cutting the curves. You'll also need a scrap of 1/4 inch or 6 millimeter plywood to make the runners, and a block of wood 3 1/8 or 79 millimeters square for the sleigh body. I designed the deer so that you could make it from 2x4 scraps, and you could make the sleigh from a bit of 4x4 if you wanted to. Because we have some resawing to do on this bandsaw, it's going to help to use a fence, and this fence must be set parallel to the blade drift. Bandsaw blades rarely cut parallel to the blade body. They usually pull from one side to the other just a little bit. This is called drift. To find this drift, draw a straight line down the middle of a thick scrap. A scrap of 2x4 works great for this. Cut along that line for a short distance, and when you get the blade to follow the line with a minimum of correction, turn off the saw and draw a line along the edge of the wood. This is your drift line for that blade. Tilt the fence at an 8-degree angle, and then secure a fence parallel to the drift line. The fence doesn't have to be anything fancy. I'm just using a piece of wood that I jointed perfectly straight. Resaw the workpiece, cutting at an 8-degree wedge. It helps that the fence is shorter than the stock that I'm resawing. You can easily position the fence so the blade will cut right at the corner of the block. Turn the block end for end and cut another wedge. Keep the wedges and tape them back to the block. Reposition the fence to cut 1/4 inch or 6 millimeters into the block. Then resaw each surface from which you cut the wedges. This will create the sides of the sleigh. Remove the resawing blade from your bandsaw and mount a narrow curve cutting blade. Return the table to its normal position so that it's 90 degrees to the blade, and take all the pieces that you've cut so far, the wedges, the sides, everything, and tape them back together. Using spray adhesive, attach the sleigh pattern to the side that faces up. Cut the outside shape of the sleigh, following the solid lines on the pattern. Remove all the tape except for the one wedge that was facing up when you did the cutting. You don't want to remove that tape because you don't want to disturb the pattern. Restack the wedges and the sleigh body and then rewrap the stack with masking tape. Some of this tape will cover the pattern, but you should still be able to see it well enough through the tape. Cut the inside shape of the sleigh, cutting just a little wide of the lines. There. That gives you some idea of where we're going with this. But before we can assemble the sleigh, we must sand all the inside surfaces to remove the ridges left by the bandsaw. And we must be extremely careful as we do this because too much pressure on the wrong surface can split the sleigh body. I've made this drum sanding jig to help with this chore. Use your bandsaw to cut a slot partway down the length of a 1/2 inch or 13 millimeter diameter dowel. Slide a piece of 100 grit sandpaper in the slot, wrap it around the dowel, and tape it in place. Mount the cut end of the dowel in your drill press chuck. This sort of squeezes the sandpaper and holds it in place. Insert the other end in a hole drilled partway through the board. It helps if you wax the end of the dowel. Clamp the board to your drill press table. Set the drill press to run at the slowest possible RPM. Then turn it on and press the sleigh body gently against the dowel. Keep the sleigh moving as you sand. Also sand the inside surfaces of the sleigh sides. When the sides are smooth, glue the sides to the body. Then wipe out the glue squeeze out with a wet rag and a wet brush. The wetter the better. Let the glue cure overnight. Then stick what remains of the wedges to the sides of the sleigh with some carpet tape. This will create a temporary surface that is roughly square to the bottom of the sleigh. Check the thickness of your runner stock and set up to route or cut grooves to match. Guide the sleigh along the fence as you make the grooves in the bottom. My runner stock was a strange size. I had no router bit or dado blade to match it. So I made the slots with a rip blade in 2 passes, moving the fence between each pass. Cut 2 pieces of 1/4 inch or 6 millimeter plywood and tape them together. The tape should be approximately where the front and the back supports on the runners are. Then simply stick the pattern to the plywood. Note that there are 2 entry slots in the top part of the runners. These let you cut the interior shapes. You won't even see these slots when the runners are mounted on the sleigh. Cut just a little wide of the lines, giving you just a little extra stock when it comes time to remove the saw marks. Use files or sandpaper wrapped around a dowel or an old hacksaw blade to sand up to the lines. Sand the outside of the assembled sleigh to remove any of the remaining saw marks, and then we'll fit the runners to the sleigh. Place the runners in the grooves and mark the contours of the sleigh body. Sand or file the runners to the marked lines to pre-fit them to the sleigh. Glue the runners in place and let the glue cure overnight. When the glue is cured, sand the upper portions of the runners where they join the sleigh body. They should be flush with the sleigh surface. Add a finish and you're done. But what if you'd like to add some visual interest, like making the sides and the sleigh body out of 2 contrasting woods, like we did right here? Well, it's simple enough, but you have to make some minor changes in your sleigh making procedure. Start with a smaller block, just 2.5 inches or 63 millimeters wide. Resaw the wedges from the sides of the sleigh body. Rip the sides from a contrasting wood, but make them 3 3/16 inches or 81 millimeters tall, so they protrude ever so slightly above and below the top and bottom edges of the sleigh body. Tape the wedges, sides, and sleigh body together, then cut the outside shape of the sleigh. From this point on, you can continue, as I showed you earlier, until you get to the runners. For the runners, to make these out of contrasting woods, you may have to make your own plywood. And if you're thinking about doing without plywood, consider this. Just how well will your kids listen if you tell them to be careful with the sleigh? Using a ripping blade, cut at least 3 5/64 inch or 2 millimeter thick strips of wood, at least long enough to make 2 runners. Cut one of the strips into squares, 2 inches by 2 inches or 50 millimeters by 50 millimeters. Glue the strips and the squares together in 3 layers. The grain in the middle layer must run top to bottom, and the grain in the outside layers must run end to end. And here are several sleighs, so you can compare what happens when you mix woods to when you don't. The sleigh sides and bodies here were all made with one wood. This is Sitka spruce, and this is red oak. And here we combine species, curly maple and cherry, and bird's eye maple and mahogany. And in this one, we glued up strips of oak, walnut, and poplar. It looks less like something that Santa would drive and more like a sleigh for Mario Andretti or Ricky Bobby. The plans for this sleigh, along with step-by-step instructions and full-size patterns, are available from the Workshop Companion General Store. You can also find the patterns for the reindeer there in case you're interested. The links are in the video description, along with a list of some of the tools and materials that I've used during this video. There. I filled this sleigh with cashew nuts for all the nice little woodworkers, and this sleigh with rusty nuts for those who have been naughty. Which always begs a philosophical question. Why must it be one or the other, naughty or nice? Why couldn't it be both, like Robin Hood or Bruce Willis in Die Hard? You just have to be careful about the nuts you eat. Happy holidays.